So we're going to talk about the 7 critical steps to selling memberships. Who's excited by that topic? 1, 2 people. And I think this is one of the challenges that we face when we're dealing with either a reception team or a sales team or even a bunch of personal trainers, because we sit down and go, right, I'm going to tell you how to sell personal training better, or I'm going to tell you how to sell memberships better, and here are the steps that we need to go through. So what I'd like to do is to stop and reframe what we're going to talk about. And this is one of the challenges that I think we should be doing in our clubs and our studios straight off the bat. We need to reframe what we're doing and stop thinking about selling. And I want to share this with you. 7 critical steps to showing your business has the solution to solving people's health and fitness problems. I would suggest there's no one in any of your organisations who started working in the fitness industry to sell memberships. Because anybody I talk to in the fitness industry, I say, so what did you get into the industry? Oh, I'm passionate about health and fitness. I just want to help people get fit and healthy. Well, let's just show them the solution. And let me ask you this question. In your life, where someone's given you the solution to a problem, have you bought that solution, or have they had to sell you that solution? If your computer doesn't work, that's the pain point, that's the problem, and someone goes, well, I can fix that, we do this, 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 and this. You go, great, do it. You've just bought that service. They haven't sold you anything. They've said, I can fix the problem. And I think that's where we really struggle in our industry, because I kind of see us very much, and we'll talk about this shortly, in this production line of sales, and we're actually forgetting to drill down and find out, what's your real problem? And then let me just take you here and show you the solution. Does that make sense? And you'll see why I think we've gone down that road throughout the morning, and that we need to stop that if we want to get more people training. I also believe if we have people buy memberships, then they'll stay longer with us. If we have people buy personal training from us, they will stay longer. But if we have to sell them, then I think we have turnover, or we don't have adherence to the program. So what's the difference between buying and selling? For me, the difference is this. When I sell you something, I have to reach into Jill's handbag, pull out her purse, take out the money, and then put it back. But when Jill buys something off me, she opens up a purse and says, here, take as much as you need because I need this. And that to me is a big difference. And so if we want to drive our industry forward, if we want retention, I think retention starts from when the person gets started with us and that process from the beginning. If we've sold them, we have to work a lot harder to keep them. If they're bought, it's much better. But the only reason they're going to buy is if we know what their problem is and we've given them the solution. So that's where we're going to head today. Does that sound okay with everybody? Sound okay with everybody? Yes. Come on, remember you're being videoed. Sound okay with everybody? Yeah. Okay. Since the 1990s, some of you may not have been born then, but since the 1990s, this is pretty much how we've done sales. Casey Conrad brought this to Australia, she designed it, and Steve Jensen from Impact Training has promoted it, and pretty much I'm going to guess if I go into any of your clubs, I'm going to go through the 8 steps of sales. If I'm going to go in and talk to one of your personal trainers, anybody that's been through the Australian Institute of Fitness will have been through the 8 steps of sales. It's the way we've always sold. Why is it the way we've always sold? Simple. It works. This system works when it's done, and when it's done well, it works really well. Does anyone have any questions on the 8 steps of sales? So you all know the 8 steps of sales? They're all performed brilliantly in your club? Maybe we could do it a bit better. But we know the principles. And I think this is one of the keys, is we know the principles, but what we need to be also working with our team is making sure that they are doing each of these as best as they possibly can. And then it flows nicely. One of the really interesting things that we do is mystery shopping. And it's a service that we offer to the industry. And if we just look at step 1, which is the incoming call, we find some really interesting things, as you can imagine, when we do incoming calls across the industry to a variety of different types. Generally, we will ask, when we're working with a client, we'll ask a question like this. Do you mind us, on one of our incoming calls, is when the person says, are you currently exercising? Because everybody asks that on an incoming call. And that's usually the way the conversation starts. When they ask that, do you mind us answering that with a whole lot of information? And they say, sure. Do whatever you want. Great. So the incoming call goes something like this. Thanks for calling Active Health Club. This is Justin. Oh, hi Justin. I'm just wondering, could you tell me about membership? Yeah, I can certainly help you with that. Can I ask you, what's your name? Oh, my name's Dave. Great, Dave. My name's Justin. Are you doing any exercise at the moment, Dave? Yeah, I am. At the moment, I walk around the block. The block takes me about 30 to 45 minutes. It's a pretty big block. It's up and down hills, so I get my heart rate going a fair bit, but I just can't seem to lose my tummy. And I've got a school reunion coming up in about 6 months that I really want to look good for. Then what Justin says is this. Oh, it's great that you're doing some exercise. What are you doing? And how many times a week are you doing that? And what sort of results are you after? Because we've got our team so well drilled on the 8 steps that we've missed one of the most important factors of having somebody buy a product off us, and that's our ability to listen. So I would suggest nearly 50% of the incoming calls that we do when we shop a club and we give all that information up front, 50% of them then get asked those questions because of the scripting that we've taught them. So we're going to cover that today. Any other questions on the 8 steps?
Step 5.
Price presentation?
The way the world changes now, everyone looks for everything on the internet.
Yep.
They expect to see prices there, otherwise they'll just move on and not actually make that initial phone call. How does that work into those 8 steps?
Yeah, good question. My personal view is that it's your philosophy, it's your personal view on whether you put prices on a website or not. I do believe you should put prices on because people are shopping online and want to be able to see that information. But if you do put the prices on your website, make sure you have a call to action button which says join now. There's no point putting prices on and not asking them to join, not asking them to get started. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, I found the price, where do I join? And there are some clubs in Australia at the moment that have just gone to that model of adding price and having people join, and they've seen about an 18% of sales now coming each month directly online. But I still believe the process needs to be the same, even though they may know the price by looking at the website, or an indication of the price by looking at the website. When we sit down with the price presentation, we still should present 2 prices, option 1 and option 2, based on what is applicable. So if on your website you put something like, we have programs available from $3.50 a day, that's fine, they won't do the maths, they won't work it out. So that opens it up. But if you put your actual prices on there, then make sure you duplicate those prices when you sit down with them. So it's still the same. I heard a stat yesterday, I've heard two stats actually in the last week, but I heard one yesterday, that the time frame to be able to purchase something online should be about 6 seconds. So if you are putting your prices online, it's a repurchase. The first time will take longer, but if they're going to repurchase, it needs to take about 6 seconds. And if they're purchasing up front, the stat that I've heard is that it's somewhere between 4 to 6 clicks to be able to join. So you don't want to be taking them any more than 4 to 6 screens to convert them online. Okay. Then all of a sudden came this thing called the 9 steps. So some of you might have seen the movie Something About Mary, they went backwards from 7-minute abs to 6.5-minute abs. We went from 8 steps of sales to 9 steps of sales. And the 9 steps of sales was an ingenious invention from Anytime Fitness. And they added step 4, which is called the lever. Really clever step. Now, I'm not sure whether this was good luck or good management or actual design. I don't know the answer to this. But what the lever is between the transition of finding out what they're after in that needs analysis and about to move into showing them around the facility, the membership consultant or the club manager at Anytime Fitness will say something like this. Chris, now I know everything about you. I'm going to show you through the club. And once we've gone through the club, I'll run through the memberships with you. But I've got this great opportunity for you to get started today. Don't let me forget to tell you about that when we get finished. I've got this great opportunity for you to get started today. Don't let me forget to tell you that when we get to that point. So what's Chris thinking? What have I just done? I pre-framed him to purchase. I told him that there's going to be a special or something awesome when we get to that point. So how excited is Chris? Very. Now, so I like this process. I like this step 9. I think it's really cool. Here's the science behind what they did. That's why I'm not sure whether they knew this or not. But what I've just done with Chris is I've added a level of anticipation, haven't I? So he's now anticipating this big reveal once we've finished looking around the facility, yeah? What happens when anticipation is raised within us? Does anybody know what happens chemically in our body?
Adrenaline.
No, but it is something similar. Dopamine. Dopamine's the happy drug. Now, when I raise anticipation by saying, I'll tell you this at the end, Chris gets a squirt of dopamine in his brain, makes him feel good, but also makes the brain become more alert and therefore helps the brain remember things. So I'm now about to take him on a tour of the club or take him through a complimentary personal training session. He's got this dopamine flowing through in his head. He's going to remember the things that I show him or remember the things that I do with him. So then when I sit down and go through the price, he remembers all that cool stuff and goes, wow, this is actually pretty good value. Does that make sense? That's pretty cool, isn't it? So kudos to Anytime Fitness if they had done it because of the science or if they were doing it just because of a sales strategy. But it's something we could look at potentially in our clubs. So that's the 9 steps. So the 1990s, 1980s, we were doing the 8 steps. Anytime Fitness came in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, and we're at the 9 steps. And now, mid-2010s, our salespeople look like this. It's a used car salesman. Have I got a deal for you? Now, my highly cynical view of the fitness industry is this. Highly cynical. Okay, so I'm pre-framing what I'm saying. Highly cynical view is this. You would never join a gym in the first 25 days of the month because you'll pay for close to full price. But if you wait towards the end of the month, even better if it's the end of the quarter, you get a much better rate. Now this video is not going out publicly so we can air our dirty laundry, but to me that's an integrity issue with our business. Because we've got our salespeople that are so focused on hitting numbers, because we have to hit numbers, that we drop our prices to get people to join. Does anyone here have Foxtel at home? Does anyone see the ads on TV for Foxtel for new subscribers? And how much does that annoy you? I was going to use another word. Like, I've been with Foxtel since 1994, when it first came out. Early adopter, loved it, wanted for the sport, of course. And I sit there and go, oh my God, these new people are getting better deals than I'm getting. There's an integrity issue there. So the fact that Foxtel has a good product is great, but if it wasn't a great product, I'd be out in a flash. So if the conversation goes in your change rooms of how much did you pay or how much did you pay, or I refer a friend who goes in at the beginning of the month and they say, well, my friend joined last month and they paid joining fee, now you want me to pay $200? Yeah. See the integrity issue that we've got in our business? That means we're now into selling, we're not into people buying. So my personal view is I'd like to see these guys go back to used car salesmen and get them out of our industry. That would be my ideal situation, which is easy for me to say. I don't have a club, so I'm not hitting numbers. But I think if we're going to continue to progress and we want to grow our industry, we have to professionalise the sales approach, which comes back to professionalising our marketing. And maybe we have to say, well, instead of selling 5 memberships at no joining fee, we're only going to sell 2 memberships with a $200 joining fee. We still get the same yield, but we've got less members. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so here's what I know about today's consumer. The person that's going to be walking into your facility today, the person that's going to be wanting to do a personal training session to find out about personal training in your club, maybe your current members. Here's what I know about them. And this is a trend from trendwatching.com. And that is this: your members live in their own universe. And as a result of them living in their own universe, we are merely guests in their universe. Now, historically, many, many years ago, the consumer would actually come into our universe. And we could treat them any way we wanted to. But the roles are reversed now. Because there's so many different fitness facilities, so many different fitness options, both online, offline, big box, little box, outdoor, indoor, so much. They're like, okay, you can't even talk to me, but you're in my universe, so therefore, you would respect me. So let's imagine for a moment that Greg does find me debonair and attractive, and he says, why don't you come back to my place? So I go back to his place, and I sit on the floor, fart in public, sit at his kitchen table and put my feet up. That is completely disrespectful, is it not? And would you ever do that if you went to someone's house? Would you ever disrespect them? Yet what do you think this guy does when he goes into the consumer's universe? There's disrespect. See, this is what the consumer wants. They want a partnership. They want to buy from you, but they want to go with you. They want you to lead them. They want you to guide them, coach them, support them. That's what the consumer is looking for today. Not to be pushed. So at this point, we don't even know who's in charge in this couple. But he could be the membership consultant pushing this girl. That's not the universe. So what we need to understand is that we can't bang a square peg in a round hole. Because when we bang the square peg in a round hole, we have chips. And the chips simply mean we'll never have 100% retention. Because none of the complete consumer is being met. None of their complete needs are being met. And they kind of go, oh, this is the best of a bad lot, okay, I'll join. Or we bash them over the head so hard that they go, okay, I'll join just to shut you up. Does that make sense? So what I'm trying to get us to understand is we need to be talking more to the consumer in the language that they want, in the way they want, and be presenting them a membership or a program that they want. That becomes a real challenge for us. Because it kind of goes across what we've traditionally done. So here are my 7 critical steps I'm going to go through with you this morning. Dump the scripts. Follow up everyone. Inspire through expertise. Use my name. Show me what I need and sell me what I want. Alternate choice and shut up. And get personal to earn your referrals. So I'm going to go through all of these with you today. And then at the end, I'm going to ask you to pick one of these that you think you could work on in your business over the next 30 days. Not all 7, just pick one. Who's up for that? All right, so let's kick it off with number 1, which is dump the scripts. How many of you, when a new person starts in your business, give people scripts to learn? Okay, so there's a couple of yeses and there's a couple of no's. So Stacey that works for me, or worked for me as my club manager, now works for me running our mystery shopping program, first started working with me in one of my clubs as a salesperson. She had no sales experience at all, none. And she said, she's a group fitness instructor, and she said, oh, I don't think I've got a future as a group fitness instructor. I really want to get into sales. I'm like, you don't have any sales experience. She said, I know, but could you teach me? I'm like, well, I don't really have time. But then in the back of my head, I'm going, I haven't got a salesperson. I need somebody. So almost through desperation, I put Stacey on. And I remember saying this to her. I said, I'm going to give you scripts to learn. I want you to learn these scripts verbatim. I want you to say anything else. I just want you to learn these scripts. And she did. And she learned the scripts verbatim. In fact, of all the salespeople I ever had that worked for me in the 20-something years of clubs, she knew the scripts better than anybody else. She also had the highest closing ratio. So the scripts work. But one of the cool things about Stacey was she listened. And because she listened, she was able to adjust scripts on the run. And this is where I think one of our problems is in our industry, is that we're drilling scripts into people, whether it's a personal trainer, or whether it's a front desk person, or it's that incoming call example that I gave earlier, where we just know the scripts. And we're not thinking. And we're not, therefore, personalising the experience for that consumer, which means we are not getting into their universe. They're coming into ours. So, I would suggest dumping scripts and inserting prompts. So for me, as an example on an incoming call, here's what I want to know as the club owner. I want to know what time did the person call and what was the reason, what was the marketing source, what got them to call, what made them call that day. As a club owner, that's all I want to know. How you work that out, Chris, I don't care. But that's a non-negotiable aspect of working for me, answering my calls as the owner. If I'm managing a sales team, the manager of the sales team is going to say, okay, the non-negotiable component is we want to get an appointment, we need a name and we need a contact number. That's non-negotiable, that's what we need. Now, for Chris to close me and get a sale, he needs to have rapport, he needs to know what the exercise history is, he needs to know da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But the sales manager, the club manager is saying, Chris, I don't care how you get me that information, just get me that information from every phone call. So Chris says, okay, I'll get you that information. Let me ask the question any way I can. And that's what I'm suggesting. Because there'd be half the room here that would feel really uncomfortable on an incoming call saying, so you can't be doing any exercise? Or what are your goals? Well, if that doesn't fit with you and there's no authenticity in that statement, then the person on the other end of the line is going to sit there and go, fake. What I want you to think about is having a conversation with somebody. Whether that conversation be over the phone or be face to face. Change what we're doing from scripting them to making a conversation and saying, here are the prompts, here's what we need to know. We need to know this, we need to know this, we need to know this. How you get it, I don't care. But if you don't get it, then we're going to performance manage you. And we'll go back to scripts, because we know scripts work, but we need to personalise. Does that make sense? Can you see how we want to, if you use this analogy, here's the really narrow lines. When you first start off, you're not allowed to go outside those narrow lines. That's the scripting. But as you get better and better and you know what you're doing, we're going to open them up. We're going to open them up. We're going to open them up. And go ahead. Knock yourself out. You know, if you can close memberships without doing a pre-activity questionnaire or a needs analysis, and you're closing sales, and the people that are buying are referring people and are staying, then why do we have to go through a process? If that works for you, great. Great. Because you personalised it. But if it doesn't work for you, then we've got to pull back and we've got to go back to what our 8 steps are and we've got to get it right. So what I'm suggesting is we've got that foundation of the 8 steps, we've got our foundation about scripting, but then we want to flip that on its head and personalise it using our words, our language, so it's authentic coming from our mouths. So one of the things that you could do in your team meetings or your sales meetings or with your trainers is saying, here's the question what we want to know. Is the person exercising at the moment? How would you say it? 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 Great. That's what I want you to say. Because we want to know what exercise they're doing. How we get that answer, we don't care. Dump the scripts. Personalise. Be authentic. Okay. Number 2. We need to follow up everyone, and we need to follow up everyone fast. I think this is one of the biggest challenges for personal training studios. And this is what gives clubs leverage over PT studios. The consumer is wanting a solution. So if they ring a PT studio and the personal training studio hasn't got someone there to answer the phone and help them straight away, or at least acknowledge that they've called and organise a time to call them back, and they just leave a message, what are they going to do? They're going to move to the next personal training studio or the next personal trainer. At least in a club situation, there should be someone always on staff at any time to be able to answer the questions. Because it's a funny sort of analogy or metaphor, so go with me on this. But your marketing or your message or your signage or whatever you're doing that the consumer sees creates an itch. So they ring you to scratch that itch. And if you can't scratch that itch, they look for someone else to scratch that itch. Does that make sense? And you think about it yourself. If your arm is itchy and this arm's tied behind, you're going with your chin, or you're going to your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, can you just scratch my arm for me? Can't get that bit in the middle of my back because it's itchy. Same things happen here in business. So as soon as we get the opportunity to follow someone up, we need to follow them up fast. There is a statistic Steve Jensen talks about. He did show 7 in the Fitness Business podcast series, and he says that we really need to get back to somebody within 2 minutes of them sending an email. So you know those people that sit there and do this? We need to get back to them within 2 minutes. That's the thing.
So is an autoresponder enough?
Good question, Jill. I think it's okay. And can I explore that now? My observations is that okay, let me pull back one sec. When we put our names and details into a website to get a free workout or a free 7-day pass, what we call the barrier to entry is very low. Generally we go, what's your name? Give us your phone number and your email address, yeah? And then that goes to us, and we may have an autoresponder, Jill, that then goes back to them and say, hey, great, we'll be in touch in the next 24 to 48 hours to organise your free workout or whatever it may be. And that works all fine and dandy. But then we then pass that lead on to the salesperson who is ringing them and ringing them and ringing them and sending them emails and trying to get hold of them, and generally struggles to get hold of them. Would you agree with that? And so how does the salesperson feel about following up web inquiries? Are there any salespeople here that have to follow up web inquiries? How do you feel about it? Yeah, it's hard to get hold of them, isn't it? So it gets frustrating. You kind of go, I'll actually do those ones last. Or I'll keep coming back to them, and I'll keep coming back to them. So there's another way we could do it. We could actually increase the barrier to entry. So in other words, on our web, we go name, phone number, email address, what results you're after, how many times you're going to train. We ask more questions. Now when we get someone to answer more questions, that's going to take them more time. So do you reckon that increases or decreases the qualification of them becoming a member?
Increases. But you get less leads.
But you get less leads. So you get less numbers, but you get higher quality. So that's a decision in the business you would need to make. Alternatively, what you could do is you could still go name, phone number, email address, but the autoresponder goes back to them that says, hey, thanks Chris for filling out the form, we'll organise your 7-day pass within the next 24 hours. To help us help you, click here and give us some more details about what you're after. So then they click that link, which takes them, and you're now asking them what results, how often you want to train, what time of day, some more questions. So again, if they fill that out, their qualification increases. So there's a couple of different ways you could do this. But I think what we need to do is refine that online process to enable us to follow up everyone fast. If on your website you don't have an autoresponder, does everybody know what I mean by an autoresponder? Anyone not know? If you don't have an autoresponder, you've got to get it. That is critical. Ideally, the consumer loves autoresponders to come from people, not info at. So somebody that might work in your organisation forever and never leave could be John. So the autoresponder goes back from John at YMCA, John at Melbourne Bars, Fiona at Fernwood. That's more personal than info or resources or contact us. So we can personalise it, there's much better chance that they then open that. Okay, so we need to follow up everyone fast. We need to follow up everyone fast. And in the world we now live in, we need to use everything possible to contact them. We need to use everything possible. Email, phone, text, anything possible to get hold of them. Now, one of the interesting things that I find intriguing about our industry is that we have such personalities out on the gym floor with our personal trainers. We have great personalities there, but we almost lack a bit of spunk and a bit of personality in the sales department in some clubs. And so as a result, when we are leaving messages for people, the message that's left on the phone goes something like this. Oh, hi Joan, it's Justin calling from Active Health Club. Just been trying to get hold of you to organise a time for you to come down and have a look at the club. Give me a buzz, here's my number. Would anyone disagree that that's kind of the message we leave? So do you think it's what Seth Godin calls remarkable? Seth's definition of remarkable is this: worthy of being or likely to be noticed, especially as being uncommon or extraordinary. Do you think that phone message would be remarkable? It doesn't really inspire you to make that call back. Whereas if we had a group fitness instructor in, they'd probably go something like this. Up, 2, 3, yeah, I'm just calling you back. Thank you for coming in and seeing us or dropping us that website inquiry. I just want to organise a time for us to get out and have a chat, maybe jump in and do a class with me. Whole voice tonality changes. So if we think about communication and what we're trying to communicate with people, I'm just going to go through the whiteboard for a tick. We've got the words that we use. We've got our body language. And we've got the tone of our voice. Does anybody know the percentages of these when we're communicating a message? Kind of, sort of?
Yeah, we've done this.
What is it?
We've done this, Jill.
What is it?
7, 38, 55.
7,
38,
38,
55.
55.
Body language is 55.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got tone in the middle. Oh, you're talking about phone.
Happy? So, how can somebody on the other end of the phone see our body language? They can't see it, but what they can do is hear it. So for me, when I'm on the phone, it's actually that. So in a couple of the clients that we work with, we have now banned seats when we're making outbound calls. You are not allowed to sit down when you take an incoming call or you're making an outbound call.
Are they exercising at the same time?
No, but we do allow them to have a Swiss walk. Why do you think we got rid of the seats when they're making those outbound calls?
Stable.
Your voice will automatically change as soon as you're talking standing up. Your tone changes. It completely changes. So it's a good reason to have stand-up desks, but they're really expensive. But what we said is we just said no sitting down. Now for the really funky people, you can put a mirror in front of where you're going to make the calls. Why would you put a mirror?
You like talk to yourself and you see yourself how you express and you move your hands when you speak, so they will notice on the...
Correct. That's exactly right. Also, you probably laugh at yourself, which means you smile. Smiling changes the tone in your voice. So just those two things altogether. Whereabouts are you from?
From Spain.
Spain. Just talk to me about Spain. What do you talk with your hands?
I always talk to my hands, always.
So one of the hardest things for people that talk with their hands is to hold a bloody phone. There's one hand. So give them a headset. Headsets are cheap. They're also good because it means that you haven't got crinkle in your neck, which is great for eye health and safety, and will reduce your workers' comp claims as you progress if they're on the phone a lot. So there are three tools there straight away that can start to make this call remarkable. One, stand up. Two, smile. Three, get a headset. My fourth one is be focused on that call. It's one of the toughest jobs as a PT. It's one of the tough jobs of being a manager in an anytime club. It's one of the tough jobs of being a front desk person having to call back someone is doing 2 or 3 things at once. This is a potential member, so we need to be giving them our undivided attention. We can't be splitting these things up. So if I'm a PT, I want to make sure that there's nothing else around me and I can give all my attention to this call. Now for the PTs in the room and the PTs that are going to be watching the video, here's a little lesson for you guys. Listen to your own voice message on your mobile. Because that's marketing. Has anyone rung a personal trainer's message bank ever? Hi, this is Justin. I'm with a client at the moment. Would you leave your name and number and I'll give you a call back as soon as possible? Shh, I'm not trying with them. You just hang up. Hi, this is Justin. I'm with a client at the moment. Just leave your name and number and as soon as I finish with them, I will give you a buzz back. Hi, this is Justin. I'm with a client at the moment and I've got clients all day today. So I'll give you a buzz back within the next day, probably around 10 or 11 o'clock. But I'll shoot you a text first. It's a different sort of call. Be remarkable. Stand out. Now again, we're not group fitness instructors, I understand that. What do one of these things have on them that could make you remarkable?
Smiley face.
Yeah? Yep, so when you're sending your little text message, you can put a little emoticon, clapping hands, all those big muscles. It's also got a camera. Also has a video. Hey, Fiona, it's Justin calling from Active Health Club. Been trying to get hold of you via email because you shot us an email. Give me a buzz back. I want to help you out. I want to get you started on an exercise program. Send via text. Are there any rules that say we can't do that? It's different, isn't it? Do it in front of your mirror. Hey, it's me in there. Why could you not do it? How do you reckon that would be? It's, getting a 10-second video from a personal trainer or a salesperson and saying, hey, I'm trying to get hold of you because you asked us to help you. So I'm trying to get hold of you. It's different, isn't it? It's different and it's remarkable. Here's what I think. My sales training tips. I think we need more telephone work. We spend a lot of time in sales training going through those 8 steps. We spend a lot of time talking about how to close, but what we don't talk a lot about is how to use a telephone well. When is a good time to call? What voice do we use? What sort of a message should we leave? Let's work on our telephone skills in order to convert. Because we are spending more time on the telephone than we ever have, and we need to make that more effective. than we ever have. Okay, critical step number 3, inspire through expertise. This is not my critical step number 3, I can't tell a lie. Again, I got this idea from Steve Jensen in his podcast. Really like one of the things that he talks about, which is instead of trying to sell this idea of membership, is that we get people and we inspire them to start with us. And the inspiration comes from knowing they're joining your club or starting personal training with a personal trainer because you are an expert. So we want to position ourselves in our community, whether that community be North Melbourne, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, the Southern Hemisphere, or the world, whatever the definition of community, but you want to be an expert in that area. Does that make sense? So this morning I was at a club working out and I looked at their personal training board. They had 16 personal trainers. Each of those 16 personal trainers were almost identical. It was like a template. So trainer 1, their areas of expertise was weight loss, body transformation, cardiovascular fitness. Trainer number 2 was body transformation, cardiovascular fitness, and weight loss. And trainer number 3 was cardiovascular fitness, weight loss, body transformation. And I'm like, you're all the bloody same. So therefore I'm determining which trainer to buy off based on the photo. Because that's the only thing that's different, is the photo. And this is one of the challenges that personal trainers in clubs have, is they want to be all things to all people. Well, that's not what the consumer wants. The consumer wants to train with an expert. So, within the room here today, we've got 3 people from Fernwood. Fernwood can position themselves as the experts in women's health and fitness. They can be doing the pelvic stability stuff. They can do all the downstairs action that's required so that women don't suffer incontinence when they exercise. And they can position themselves as the experts because it matches nicely with their brand. They could do that. Or as a personal trainer, that may be your area of expertise. Now, when you have a level of expertise, what does that generally mean? You can charge more. So you can go and see your standard solicitor or your standard lawyer, or you can go and see the lawyer who's an expert in defamation. You can go and see a general surgeon, or you can go and see an orthopaedic surgeon or a specialist. And do they charge a different price? Yes. So you can come to our club and we are a normal sort of club, or you can come to our club and we are the experts in weight loss in North Melbourne. So if I'm coming to see an expert, automatically in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to pay a premium price. Is that a bad thing? Does that get you out of the sandpit that everybody else is playing in, which is let's drop our price? Because we're all the bloody same. We're saying let's be different because we're an expert. So we need to position ourselves in our community as experts. Which means when we're showing the person through the club on a tour, we want to ink them. Which is not a tattoo. You're not going to get a tattoo booth set up in a club. But what Steve calls this is, it fits in our club where I need to know. This is some information as a prospect, you need to know this. We're the expert in this area. This is our personal trainer, Chris. Chris is our expert in running a marathon. So we've got 10 personal trainers that work here, but Chris is our #1 trainer around helping people run a marathon, which matches exactly your goal. How cool would that be? Or here's a testimonial of one of our members. This is one of our members that we were able to help who had exactly the same goal as you. Back pain, overweight, wanted to improve their posture. Look at them. Area of expertise. So what we can go through is we can teach them, educate them while we're doing the tour. Teach them, educate them while we're doing the tour to show that we are the expert in what they're looking for. Does that make sense? Now, that means we now have a unique selling proposition because we are an expert in that area. What do you think is the current challenge around inking people and showing you're an expert?
Knowledge.
Got it. Our industry has moved from moving fitness-based people into sales to salespeople in our industry. And as a result, the salespeople are not product knowledge savvy enough. So we can't go over the top with technical terms and jargon. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we need to teach our salespeople more about our product. There is not a personal trainer in a business that should not be personal training the sales team. Every membership consultant in our industry should have a personal trainer. Every receptionist in our industry should have a personal trainer. And at FlyX this year, I asked in a room full of owners, managers and personal trainers, how many of them had a personal trainer? Less than 20% of the room said they had a personal trainer. I said, how do you expect to sell personal training if you don't have a personal trainer? Yeah, but we think it's really good. Well, if you think it's really good, why the hell don't you have a trainer? How can you expect your membership consultants to sell PT if they don't even know anything about any of the personal trainers? It's not them and us, we now have a team. So we need to educate people. We need to, when a prospect comes in and says, I've got bad posture because I'm sitting on a computer all day, we need the salesperson to go, bang, I need to put them on a supported row and show by doing this exercise it's going to improve their rhomboids and going to pull their shoulders back. Then I need to put them on the ground and show them about their hamstrings and teach them about stretching, which is going to reduce their lower back pain. That's inking them. I need our salespeople to understand that the reason why we're going to do strength training is we're going to increase your metabolism, which means you're going to burn body fat while you're not actually in the gym. That's got to be a good thing for you, hasn't it, Fiona? Wow, I never knew that. So we almost need our salespeople to be certificate 3, which would be the ideal situation. But from a professional development, that's what we need to do. We need to do that with our front desk team because our front desk team are the ones that are talking to members as they're going in and out. And we can ink them and surprise them with our knowledge and show that we're experts in this field. That's a challenge I really want to give to you guys. I really want to give to you guys. Because what our goal is we want to be an expert. We want to stand out from the crowd. We want to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. The brain is looking to pay attention to the unusual. The brain's looking to pay attention to the unusual. So let's be unusual and show that we're an expert. We're not generic. We're different. And you know what? We may not be the right place for you, Jill, because we're not the expert in what you want. But I know somewhere that is. Jill walks away going, wow, that was a really cool experience. They respected me in my universe, didn't try and sell me anything other than get me started on an exercise program. Now I'll go off to a stable base, and when I get better and healthy, then I might go back to them. So this is what my challenge for you is this. More product knowledge, more facility knowledge, more people knowledge of what's the people in your business. That's a big one. This is a massive one of these challenges that I think sets you need to work on. Okay, number 4. Make me feel comfy. Make me feel comfy. Let me go on a quick aside here. Who knows what the word comfy means? Yeah, everyone knows what comfy means? And who uses the word comfy? I do. I'd probably say comfy way ahead of comfortable. But if you were teaching me and scripting me, then you would say this. Justin, in your presentation, you need to say, critical step number 4 is make the prospect feel comfortable. And if I said, I want you to make the prospect feel comfortable, you'd go, it doesn't quite match, Justin, that's not authentic. Because that's the script that he's been taught. So I break away from the script and I'm saying, this is me talking now. I'm not faking it. Authenticity, make me comfy. That's an example of what I was talking about in step 1. How do I make people feel comfortable? What's the number 1 way to make someone feel comfortable? Use my name. That's the number 1 way. Now, some of you have heard me talk about this example, and some of you may not have heard this, so I'll just give this to you. I was, the club that I go to, I was training, I was stretching in the stretch area, and a young, I'm going to say early 20s membership consultant is showing an older Asian lady around. Now I'm not being discriminative, I'm just being descriptive here. An old Asian lady. I find it really difficult to judge the age of older Asian people, so hopefully I won't offend her when I say she was probably late 60s. She could well have been late 70s. But she's a little old lady, bent over, taking those little tiny steps. And in the area of like 3 or 4 metres around me, his conversation went something like this. So, hon, this is where we do all the stretch. Can I say something funny? Yes. Let me go back again. So, hon, this is where we do all our stretching. And over here, babe, is probably where you can do some really nice calf stretches, which will help increase your flexibility for your walking that you want to do. And over here, sweetie, this is where we really want you to do some abdominal exercises. So if you come with me, I'm now going to show you down now where the cardiovascular area is. Let's go, babe. Babe, hon, sweetie. In 3 or 4 minutes. Someone had taught him to build rapport and he listened. He just hadn't quite heard the complete message. And this is one of the things that I find, particularly with female personal trainers. Female personal trainers seem to build up that relationship really well with clients. And so clients become Dal or Han or Sweetie. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not really cool, but I get why you might have done it. I'd much prefer to dump those and go back to using my name. I hate champ. One of my clients calls me champ all the time. He knows I hate it, so now he calls it to me. Frustrating. I hate champ. And in Aussie, we call people mate. But I've got a name. You can call me mate when I'm your mate. But I'm not your mate. I'm a member of your club who actually pays your wage by my monthly payments. So I'm the customer. Use my name. That's the fastest way to make someone feel comfortable. So for me, one of the things I would be doing in my staff meetings, and if you did this today, went to Google and searched how to remember people's names, exercises. There'd be about 1,001 different things you could do, and that's how I would start every team meeting for a quarter. I'd start every team meeting with a quarter where we do an exercise to help remember people's names. Because for me, it's a learned skill, remembering people's names. And if people tell you, oh, I'm no good at remembering people's names, I've never been good at it, that's bullshit. They've never been trained to be good at it, they've never practiced it. It's a skill. So that's the first way to make them feel comfortable. Second way is mirror and matching. Who doesn't know what mirror and matching is? Okay, so in order to build rapport, I mirror and match how you talk, your body language, and you. And that helps build rapport because you kind of go, oh, he's like me. So if you're with a client, a prospect, and they're a real soft talker, then you also talk really soft. And that makes them feel comfortable that you're talking in their language. If they're a fast talker, then you talk fast too. If they're a loud talker, well, you talk loud. And if they're sitting back with their arms crossed and they talk really loud, then you sit back with your arms crossed really loud too. And just do that for a couple of seconds, maybe a minute, then eventually uncross your arms, they'll uncross their arms, then you start to bring your voice down, they'll bring their voice down, and before you know it, you're talking more at yours. So mirror and matching behaviour is very cool. Again, it's a good one to do at a team meeting and practice. Let's mirror and match people's behaviour. Mirror and matching is a rapport building skill that is critical in life, as is remembering people's names. It's a skill in life. It's not a skill around sales. So with making someone feel comfortable, you're actually personally developing your team to make them better human beings, make them a better husband, a better wife, a better boyfriend, a better girlfriend, a better friend, because you remember people's names, you make people feel comfortable, you build rapport with them. And my third way to make people feel comfortable is this: 2 by L to 1 times T. You're nodding, so you know what that means. Twice as much listening to 1 times talking. I listen to the personal trainers with clients in the club that I go to, and I get that the client is exercising at a high level of intensity and can't talk, but I'd rather hear them talk about their life than the personal trainer telling them about what they did on the weekend or the problem that they're having with their girlfriend. I'm like, that is TMI. Too much information for the client. They don't need to know that. 2 times listening for 1 times talking. So we're on a tour with a prospect, we're asking 1 question and trying to get 2 or 3 statements back. 1 question, 2 or 3. 1 question, 2 or 3. That's going to make me feel really comfortable. And at the end of that, when that person walks out, they'll go, she was a beautiful person. They'll go home and they'll tell their husband or their wife or their partner, I met this really nice person at the gym today. What was their name? I don't know, I can't remember. Well, why were they so nice? I don't know, they just were. Something inside them says that Jill was really nice. What was it? They can't pinpoint it. What we can do is pinpoint it. It's because Jill asked all the questions to them and they got to talk all about themselves for half an hour. And how good does it feel to talk about yourself for half an hour? You go, wow, this is so cool. That's why people love psychologists, psychiatrists, because they can just talk for half an hour about themselves. And that's what we want to do. 2 times listening to 1 time talking. So the tip here is
That's also a skill though.
listening.
Yes.
Oh.
The questioning. Like that's huge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So perhaps that's your sales training tip here. 1 is name practice drills. 2 is asking questions. I believe that your salespeople need to be naturally inquisitive people about people. So in your hiring process, whether it's a front desk job or whether it's a sales job or even to a real degree of personal training, they need to be people. And I know that sounds really obvious, But there are people in this industry that I've met that are not a people person. And I'm like, really? Why are you in this industry? How's your membership sales? Well, I'm not closing as many sales as I like. Yeah, really? It's because you're not interested in the person that you're talking to. Okay. Number 5. Show me what I need and sell me what I want. Show me what I need and sell me what I want. So when you get home from work this afternoon, there's going to be a present sitting for you at the front door. In fact, 2 gifts. 2 gifts at the front door. Obviously, you don't know what's inside. Here are the 2 gifts. Which one are you going to open first? So Jill's opening this one first. Who's saying this one first? Yeah? Who's going to open this one first? Now, from the research that I've done, by sharing this slide, the reason people are going to open this one first is because they're alcoholics. Because the brown boxes are what their wine collection comes in every month. And they walk in and go, oh, there's a wine that's just arrived. Generally, most people are going to open this one first, the one on the right, because it looks pretty. And it's like, oh, that must be really cool. It's all about packaging. It's all about packaging. So this brown box is really boring, it's not really exciting, it could be a bill. But on the other side, this could be a party invitation. Who knows what this is? I'm going to open it because it looks really cool. So if I come into your club and I say, okay, you know, I want to run this marathon, Chris, can you help me out? I want to run it next year. I want to do the Gold Coast. So that's like November, December, January. That's 9 months away. Chris goes, yeah, I can certainly help you with that. We've got our Run a Marathon program. And as a matter of fact, it goes for 9 weeks. 9 months. How lucky are you? Let me find out a little bit about you, then I'll talk to you about the program and then we can go through the package and get you started on that. How does that sound? Great. That's that package. Then I walk into Joe's personal training studio and I say to Joe, hi, I want to run a marathon. I want to run the Gold Coast Marathon in July next year. It's 9 months away, so I need to start training now to get ready for it. And Joe says, that's great, I've got a 10-pack of personal training. It's $55 a session, $550 for the 10 sessions. Give me cash, I'll make it $500. See the difference? Chris is packaged. This one's just 10 sessions. The brown box. What am I going to buy? Chris hasn't even told me how much his package is, but it sounds better because it meets my needs. I've got a problem, he's giving me the solution. Joe, on the other hand, is just trying to flog me a product. He's going to sell me something. I'm buying Chris's product. I'm more engaged with that. Does that make sense? So when I walk into your club or your business and I say, I've just been to see the doctor and he's told me if I don't start exercising, I'm going to get adult onset diabetes. So I need to come in here and do some cardiovascular training. I need to get my blood pressure checked on a regular basis because I just need to monitor that. Club A goes, awesome. We've got a membership for you. Let's get you started. Club B says, awesome. We've got a prevent adult onset diabetes program. Let's get you started on that. Wow, that's unreal. You've got exactly what I'm looking for. Next person walks in. I've got real bad lower back. I've been to see my physio. My physio says I need to strengthen my lower back. I need to come and start exercising. Great. Club A, we've got a membership for you. Club B, we've got a strengthen your lower back program for you. brown box, pretty box. It's all about the packaging. Now, have you noticed I haven't said on any of these examples what's included in the package? Because when in our industry, we get really caught up on what's in the package. What's in the package is not important to the consumer. What is important to the consumer is what the package looks like. Now, many of you would not know this. In fact, probably most of you would not know this. But as I no longer have a health club or am a personal trainer, I have now indulged in chocolate M&Ms. And I know because you're all health conscious, you wouldn't do such a thing. So just let me explain about a chocolate M&M. Every single chocolate M&M is exactly the same on the inside. They're all filled with chocolate. Every single one of them. But the difference between every M&M is the colour on the outside. So this package could be exactly the same on the inside. You don't know. But you're determining which you're going to buy by the outside packaging. So my back care program, my adult onset diabetes program, 90% of those programs could be exactly the same. We're going to do some cardiovascular with you, we're going to do some strength training with you, we're going to do some stretching with you, but we're going to do this bit which is a little bit different. We're going to add blood pressure testing for you. We're going to add some increased hamstring stretches for you. Does that make sense? It's all about packaging. It's all about packaging. Far more strategic, this one, but I think this will close you more sales. And most importantly, it differentiates you from your competitor. Makes you a different personal trainer to the other personal trainers. Completely different. Okay, number 6. Alternate choice and then shut up. This to me is also a life skill. You can get whatever you want in life by using an alternate choice and then shutting up. So alternate choice means this. When I'm going through prices, we've got price A or price B. Which would you prefer? Did you want to pay with credit card or bank account? Did you want to come and see me tomorrow or did you want to catch up on Monday? Would you want to come and have a look at the club at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock? The key with alternate choice, because we're really good at this in our industry, I've got to admit we're pretty good at alternate choice. Where we screw it up is the next bit, shutting up. Because once we give alternate choice, the first person to speak after alternate choice buys. This is why most personal trainers go broke. Because they keep buying personal training off themselves. So I've got a 10-pack or a 5-pack of PT, which would you prefer? Ooh, I'm not really sure. Well, why don't you take a 5 to start off with? Ooh, hang on, I need to think about it. See, here's how the human brain works. Well, let me ask you this. Is there anyone here in the room who is an out-loud thinker? Couple of people. A few people. Who knows what an out-loud thinker is? So if I give alternate choice, Jill sits there and looks at it and goes something like this out loud. Oh wow, that's a bit more than I thought it would be. But I could probably not go out to dinner once a week or twice a week, just go out to dinner once a week and then that'd give me a few extra bucks that I could put there. That's called out loud thinking. Now, what do most salespeople do once Jill starts out loud thinking? When she says that's a bit more than I thought it would be?
They jump in.
They jump in and they start to say, they read into the sale and they try to reconvince you that it's good value. What are the rules after giving alternate choice? Because the first person that speaks So if I interrupt Jill's thought process, what is Jill's objection?
You're interrupting me, that's it. I can't think it through.
I can't think of, I need to go away and think about it. I can't think this through now, you're not letting me, I need to think about it while I'm aside. Now when you first teach your people this skill, especially your personal trainers, the pause at the end after giving an alternate choice will probably feel like about 3 years. Maybe 4. But in essence, it's probably 3 or 4 seconds. So when you give alternate choice, here's your movements. Eye contact, smile, and nod. So when Jill goes, well, that's a bit more than I thought it would be, you go, Don't go, Go, But I probably could manage my money this way. And you wait for Jill to say, no, I cannot afford it. Or, yes, I can afford it. Great, let's get you started. So the challenge that I want to give you is get people to practice this in real life. Because it's not a sales technique, it's a skill set that we can use. So ladies, you can say to your husband now, honey, you want to go to the movies or do you want to go shopping on a Saturday afternoon? And he says, but I'm sitting on the couch watching the footy. And you say, movies or shopping? Looks like I'm going to the movies. Great. We're going to see, what's that new one with Drew Barrymore and Tony Collette? the new version of The Notebook.
Already gone or not here or something.
Something, one chick flick or this chick flick. Well, what about Everest? That's not an option, honey. It's this or this. Well, I'll go with this. And you've got what you want. Now, I wish I'd known about alternate choice when I was younger. Because rejection would have been far less for me. Because I would walk up to girls in bars and say, can I buy you a drink? Closed question. Shut down. No. Just look at you. You're ugly. Go away. Now I know about alternate choice. I can walk up to a girl in a bar and say, hey, can I buy you a wine or maybe a champagne? Both. All right, you're an expensive girl. No worries. We've now got a conversation starter. I use alternate choice with my 7-year-old all the time. So, you've got to do your home reader, honey. Are you going to do your home reader before dinner or your home reader after dinner? But you're not watching TV until you've done your home reader, when you want to do it. And she's allowed, well, Dad, if I did it before dinner, could I watch something after dinner, or do I do it after dinner and then I'd have to watch the recording? And I just keep quiet. And she's looking at me. And I'm going, okay, I'll do it now. Good answer. You don't want a procrastinator. So if we can teach this skill, it's really good in our business. What I'd love you to do is take it one step further and build alternate choice into the culture of the business. So when Jill says to one of her managers, I need to meet with you, she then follows up with, would tomorrow or Monday be better for you? So we build that into the culture of our business. So it's not just we're using it in our team with our prospects, but we're using it with our members and we're using it within each other.
When you start using it, you can't stop using it because it just becomes intrinsic to what you do.
Correct. And therefore it becomes authentic. It doesn't sound scripted and fake. So our front desk girls don't say, or boys don't say to people when they're leaving, when are you back? They go, so will I see you on Monday or I'm back on Wednesday? What day will I see you? Oh, Monday. Great. Look forward to it. We've built it into our culture of our business. Okay, number 7. Get personal to earn referrals. Get personal to earn referrals. Everything I read tells me that the place we're going to get referrals is somewhere in that first 30 days when somebody first starts with us. That's when they're most excited. Now, I don't really care when you ask. There's a lot of people that will say you need to ask at point of sale because that's when they're most excited. Other people will say day 7, day 14, or even a month down the track. Once we've built rapport and we've shown everything that we've promised in the sales presentation, we've got the credibility to ask for referrals. I don't care when you ask, but I do care that you ask. That we work out when we should ask, and that becomes a process that everybody asks. And for me, when we ask for referrals, whether we get them or not, that to me is when the sales process finishes. Now, my view on the sales process has changed. My view on what salespeople need to do has changed. I always believe that a salesperson should do what they do best: sell memberships. Sell memberships. Get the person started and then move them to the next person in the organisation. The reason why I've changed that is because I believe the consumer doesn't want to feel like a piece of meat being pushed from person to person to person. And for often, the person that joined them up, they've opened up to, they've got a relationship with, and now we're saying, well, now I don't want to have anything to do with you because I made the sale. And I don't think that's the way the consumer these days wants to do it. What I think is that they have built that relationship with you, and their expectation is that you're going to go with them through this journey for a period of time. So therefore, for me, I believe that sales experience and that sales process now continues way beyond them filling out that membership application form. And again, if we look at an example like car salesmen or real estate agents, they continue the relationship with after sales care. And that's not what we have in our industry. We really haven't done it. The only after sales care has kind of been a 7-day call, how's it going? Great, clunk. And if we're really busy, then those 7-day calls are often below even the web inquiries that we do. I know in my club, when I had my club, I used to drive Stacey and our membership consultants and say, okay, we need to make these 7-day calls. But then they would say, what's the point? What's the point of making a 7-day call when I've got all these leads that I'm going to get paid commission on? Why would I be wasting my time ringing members to see if they're happy? Well, the big picture is these days that if they're happy, they're all over social media, they're telling their friends, that's going to generate us quality leads, not unqualified leads, but quality leads, and that makes your job easier. Does that make sense? I know Les Mills in New Zealand were playing with this. I'm not sure where they're actually at, but their thought process was that when the person joined, the salesperson got a percentage of their commission. But then I think it was day 60, day 30 or day 60, based off the number of visits that member had, they got the rest of the commission. So their job was to follow up that new member all the way through that first 30 to 60 days to make sure they were using the club. And doesn't that make sense? They've built a relationship. It makes sense to follow them through and get them in that routine. Connect them with a personal trainer, who then the personal trainer then takes over the relationship. That's going to increase usage. That's going to increase long-term viability of this member. So, in order to earn referrals, not ask for referrals, but earn referrals, I believe we need to personalise the experience First thing I believe you need to do, and I've already showed you one of these tools today, is send thank you cards. I believe you should send a thank you card to anybody that inquires to your club. When they walk in, as soon as you get their address, whether they join or don't join, they should be sent a thank you card thanking them for coming in. When they join, they should be sent a thank you card from the salesperson. When they refer a new member to the club, they should be sent a thank you card. When they buy personal training, they should be sent a thank you card from the personal trainer. If you have 10 packs or 6 packs of PT, every time they renew, they should be sent a personal note saying thank you. Now, when I shared that concept with a club in New Zealand, they said to me, well, it's going to cost us about $1 to $1.20 to get the thank you cards printed, plus 60 cents to post. So it's nearly $2 to send a thank you card. I said, yeah? And they went, that's expensive. I said, yeah, but you forgot the labour. You know, it's going to take someone 2 minutes to write a thank you card. So you're probably now up to $3, maybe $3.50 to say thank you to a member for joining your club. By the way, how much is an annual membership? Oh, it's about $1,500. Right. So what you're telling me is $3 to build a relationship with somebody who's going to spend $1,500 with you is not worth the investment? Or I haven't thought about it that way. And that's the way I want you to think about it. I want you to think about the long-term return on investment of spending a little bit of time creating the relationship when they first start. The thank you component is the first part of what we call the onboarding of new members. And if you listen to the podcast last week that Robbie Kelman-Baxter talks about in the membership economy, she says for the membership economy to work really well, the onboarding of new members is critical. And she says the first step of the onboarding process, believe it or not, is thanking someone for joining. Thanking them for getting started. And if we can personalise that, so it's not a generic thing, so we're not asking the receptionist at closing to send a thank you card to all the people that joined that day, because she doesn't know who they are. What I'm saying to the salesperson is once you've sold the membership, spend 2 minutes to just write the card. If you really want, the receptionist can address the card. But you write the card because you know the personal things about them. Why they're coming, who they are, what's about. How cool would it be if I come in and look at your club at lunchtime, that by the time I get back to the office, in your example, there's an email already sitting there from the club saying thanks a lot for coming in. By the way, here's an attachment that I found that relates directly to healthy eating, weight loss, back care that we've got. So Steve Jensen calls them cheat sheets. Internally, externally, he calls them teach sheets. And so he says hand them out when the person goes through the tour. Oh, by the way, here's a little sheet around back care, here's a little sheet about weight loss. I'm saying, you know, if you're not doing that, you're just having the prospect come through, stick them as an attachment and send it to them. Or better still, have it built into your website, and here's the link. Click here, which takes them to the website, so therefore they're seeing the branding. Click here to download it, do whatever you want to do. But email them. Don't be afraid to email and use email. Number 3, remember when they come in and when they don't. Remember when they come in and remember when they don't. Most of the time, your membership consultants or your salespeople, when they sign somebody up, they'll remember, you know, the person they'll ask, so what day are you going to come in? We are creatures of habit, are we not? If we train Monday morning, we're in most Monday mornings or Wednesday mornings. So if the salesperson's in there, tell them to be at the front desk. Once a month, be there just to say hi to people when they come in. But more importantly, because we're a creature of habit, when we don't come in for the first couple of Mondays, when that person works, that salesperson, they're not there? What stops them picking up the phone and calling them? What stops them? Nothing. But why don't they do it? It's not in my job description. I didn't think about it. We'll start thinking about it because this is this after-sales service. What we want is we want this member to use the club consistently for 60 days, 90 days. Because if we've got them in that 30, 60 or 90 day mould of coming to the club, then they're in. I talked to a PT the other day and he said, some of my clients, I train with them once a week, I give them their programs, but they don't come into the gym the other days of the week. I said, well, what are you doing about that? I don't know what to do. So if they said they're going to come in on a Wednesday and you're here and you don't see them, what's stopping you pick up the phone and calling them and saying, you were supposed to come in today and have a workout? Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I didn't know if that was cool. That's just not cool, that's awesome. Okay, number 4, connect them. Connect them with each other. If I were a group fitness instructor, it would be a very ugly class. But if I was a group fitness instructor, before I started my class, I would say, I just need to fix my music. While I'm doing that, just turn to the person next to you and introduce yourself. Great. Why would we stop doing that? No. But if we can connect people, don't the people in group fitness classes always stand on the same spot? Or use the same bike? Or lie on the same reformer bed in a Pilates class? All the same. But they don't know anybody around them. But they don't connect. The Pilates class I went to was a duet. 2 people. And the person that taught the class never introduced me to the other person. Never connected us. Connect us, we would then hold each other accountable for coming. They haven't got to do anything to resell me because I go at the end of the package, you coming back next week? Yeah, me too. Okay, great. Here's my money. Connect us. Personal trainers, back-to-back clients. They very rarely introduce the clients to each other. Connect them. Why wouldn't you connect? Takes the pressure off us. Okay, number 5. This is the most important one for me. Care. Care for the client because you want to. Not because I'm paying you to. Not because it's part of your job. Because it's part of your core values as an individual. So this now goes right back to when I employed the person. So part of that employment process now needs to be to identify that our staff, our salespeople, genuinely care about people. That the personal trainer that we're going to employ genuinely cares about people. Does that make sense? People understand what I'm saying here? So that I follow this person through their 30, 60 or 90 day journey or even beyond, not because I'm paid to, it's because I care about them, because I want them to get the solution to the problem that I identified with them on day 1. And at day 90, or in 9 months when I run my first marathon, Chris can pat himself on the back and goes, I got him there. That's that warm fuzzy inside for Chris, because he genuinely cares about me. That's what we've got to bring it back to. About getting the right people for us. Now, I could be wrong, and I'm more than happy to admit I'm wrong, but for me, my sales training tip here is post-sales care. Because I don't think we actually understand that well enough. the post-sales care, the onboarding of new members. I really believe this is an aspect that we can improve. Interesting? Some good thoughts there. My job is to bring you information, but more importantly, provoke thoughts. Provoke you thinking about how you do things in the business. I'm not saying you've got to do this. What I'm saying is go away and think about some of these things. Think about these 7 ideas. Think about what I believe are critical steps now to get someone to buy. So the challenge I want to give you right now is, before we pull up sums and finish up in the morning, is I want you to look at those 7, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to either talk in your group or talk to yourself. Which one of those would you want to work on over the next 30 days? Our Just Do It challenge, JDI challenge. Because coming to this or watching the video is the easy thing. You get up out of bed, you drive here, you sit on your bum for 2 hours, you listen to me talk, and that's it, done. That's easy. The hard bit is implementing what one of these ideas are. But if you try to implement all 7, you're destined for failure. So my thought process is, if you pick one of these and you work on it for 30 days, measure it at the end of the next 30 days, so that's 60 days, it's then built into the culture of the organisation, you can move to your next one. So there's 7 there. There's a year worth of refining your sales process with your club, your studio, with your individual personal trainers. There it is. And with each one of those, there are some ideas there around some sales training that you can build into your team meetings. Thank you everybody for coming. Really appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend. And for those who are staying up late, go to the